So you open your notebook and finally start journaling, except your mind goes completely blank. Trust me, I've been there. So here is exactly what I would do if I would start journaling today. Hi, my name is Fanny. Let's get into it. And the truth is that before you can write your first journaling entry, you have to find a notebook that actually fits your lifestyle. Notebooks come in many shapes and sizes. You have pocket notebooks like the field notes, classic A5 journals, or even tiny passport notebooks like the traveler's notebook inserts. And this choice matters more than people think, because generally speaking, journaling doesn't happen in these perfect aesthetic moments at your desk. Most of the time, it happens in real life, on the go, and that makes a big difference. Maybe you will be on the train. Maybe you are on the couch watching a movie. Maybe you are writing on your lap before bed. So before choosing your journal, ask yourself this. Where will I actually journal 90% of the time? If you want to quickly write down just some thoughts during the day, a pocket notebook is a perfect choice for you. If you want to write down and reflect more on your life and day, a classic A5 notebook is the best choice you can make. The goal is to find a notebook that will actually fit your routine, because if your notebook fits your life, starting to journal will become so much easier. And honestly, don't worry about getting it perfect the first time, because this is the kind of thing that needs trial and error. Sometimes you need to try a few different options before you can find the perfect one. And no, I'm not saying that you should overconsume and buy a dozen notebooks at the same time, but the right tool, aka your notebook, can make a difference between journaling feeling like a chore or feeling really exciting every day. And when your notebook finally fits your life, the question becomes, what will you actually write about? Most people think that journaling is this long reflection about everything that happened that day. And it can be that, but it doesn't have to be. One of the easiest ways to start journaling is the method called Homework for Life. This method comes from Matthew Dicks, who is a world-famous storyteller, and this is the thing he does every day to find the best stories in his life. Essentially, every day you write down one sentence about a thing that happened that day. It can be the most important one, the funniest one, the best story, the worst part, anything. You just have to write down one moment from your life in just one sentence. For example, the sun came out the first time this spring. Or maybe Ryan tried to make spaghetti, burned the pan, so we went to Costco and got some hot dogs instead. It's just one sentence, but it tells a whole story and it helps you remember these little moments. And it is journaling. Another journaling method I personally love is the morning pages. This method comes from the Artist's Way book. And honestly, I'm not in love with the whole book, but this method works amazingly. So essentially, every morning when you wake up, you just roll over to your notebook. The first thing you do is that you start journaling. It's essentially your string of consciousness just thrown up to the page. I normally just start with how I slept when I woke up and just start getting into what I want to achieve that day. My whole goal is just to get rid of all of my anxieties and extra thoughts and fears and maybe big ideas that keep me from being focused on that day. The Artist's Way recommends writing 3 pages. I also like that, but sometimes I stop at 2, so it really depends on how much clarity you need that day. And of course, this journaling method is not about collecting memories, but about mental health and clarity, because journaling can be that as well. Another one I love and want to try is just logging your day. Small little notes about your day, like I woke up at this time, did this workout, ate this, I like this quote from a movie I saw. And that's it, just a few little bullet points from your day, and still it tells a whole story. And there are a million ways to journal, so I don't want to overwhelm you, but here are a few more ideas. You can do travel journaling. I did it one time when I went to New York, and I loved it. You can also write letters to a friend, or to a movie or book character to make it easier to start talking. The thing about journaling is that you can do it in a million ways, and you just have to find your own groove. The only rule I have for journaling is that it has to feel freeing, because journaling doesn't have one correct format. One sentence, a few notes, several pages, all of it counts. And by the way, if you like videos about journaling and stationery and just generally being creative, please hit subscribe, because I would really appreciate it. But alright, let's continue with another thing that scares people away from journaling. It's the idea that you have to write every single day to be a journaler. And it's not true. If daily journaling feels too much for you, or you are just too busy, you can do a weekly reflection. You can set aside 30 minutes at the end of Sunday, and you can do that. Or you can just write one sentence every evening, as we talked about. Again, it only takes 30 seconds to do that. In my personal journaling routine, I write my morning pages every morning, and then if something happens that I really want to remember, then I add it later. But there is no pressure at all. Because the secret is that the best journaling habit is the one you can keep. Consistency matters more than frequency. And actually, this is a true statement for many things in life. But there is one more really important thing that stops people from actually starting to journal. If you just Google journaling online, you will find thousands, if not millions, of beautiful images of perfect journals, perfect planners on Pinterest and on Instagram. Perfectly pretty handwriting, perfect layout, and somehow it's always written with really expensive pens in really expensive leather journals. And honestly, it can make journaling feel like that you have to perform it somehow. Also, don't forget that all of those people who post those perfect images, they most likely do it as a job. Maybe they have a sticker shop on Etsy, maybe they make money from YouTube and make commission every time they sell you something. It's their job to create those perfect journals. But your own journal is for memories. Nobody needs to see it. You don't have to post it on Instagram, you don't have to post it on Pinterest. It's a secret thing. And honestly, even if you show it to a friend or to your sister maybe, nobody cares about your handwriting. Because your journal is not supposed to be perfect. People are not supposed to see it. Once you stop trying to make your entries perfect for the internet, journaling will become so much easier. And the last thing we have to do is to make it fun as well. So earlier I mentioned that you don't need expensive stuff to just start journaling. But sometimes a tool that you love can make a big difference. If glitter pens make you excited to write every day, buy them. Buy every color if you need to. If a nice leather journal makes you actually sit down and journal and help with your mental health, you should buy it. Not 5 of them, but one? Yeah, you should buy it. And I really want to emphasize that the goal is not to have the perfect setup or to have all of these extra stuff that you don't actually need. The goal is to buy things that will actually make you sit down and write. For example, I personally prefer writing with fountain pens, so I buy nicer quality paper, but I actually buy it from Muji and they are pretty inexpensive. This is how they look. I love these notebooks, and I also have my favorite pens. One of them is right here. This is quite an expensive pen from Pilot. This is the Pilot Vanishing Point. Really nice gold nib fountain pen, but you don't need this if you are not interested. I also love using my traveler's notebook, especially if I actually travel, and those were worth every penny I spent on them. Especially because you can carry several journals with you at the same time, so it makes it so useful. And remember this, the right tools don't create a habit, but they can make the new habit feel more enjoyable. And when something feels enjoyable, it's way easier to keep up with it. So if you want to start journaling today, here is your to-do list. Buy a notebook that actually fits your lifestyle. Try out several journaling methods to find the one that actually fits you. Find your rhythm with journaling. It doesn't matter if you write in your journal once a week or every day. Just do it. Make a new habit. Stop comparing your journal to the ones on Pinterest. Those are not real. They are just made up to sell things. Buy a few little things that will make you happy and more likely to journal. And if you want to keep going, I already made a video last year about my traveler's notebook setup that you can check out right here, and see you in the next one.